You want to clear end game content. You want to go all the way. And just step by step. Tenebra's bosses and Black Mage in the far future. Sure. Trying to figure out efficient way to transition to late and end game. Yeah, because you're at the 250 mark now, and it was always a barrier, but it still kind of is, right? In aspects of the game and content and deciding if you're really going to push further with the character, it's not evident.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think I couldn't make it even to 250. I mean, I used to play it on regular, and it was like a mess for me when I reached like 2 Arcana or something like that.
220, 225, yeah.
Yeah, that point when you need to really do something about the cubing, and I was like, I won't spend any money on this game, so
right.
It was like a barrier for me.
Or you wait super long to find a nice upgraded item that fits what you want, but then you have to just wait.
Yeah. Spending my whole time trying to cap on the events, and at the end of the event I got nothing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So, I started on Reboot, I think on January or something like that this year, I think.
Okay.
And I met the Windarcher looking at Daboki's video, and it was like, okay, I will try it, and then it was like, okay, I fell in love with this class. So
okay, good match.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Prioritization, equips account, mules, yeah. Diversity funds, possible future events like DMT or Shining, yeah. Okay, we'll think about that. You've soloed all the bosses up until normal slime. Easy Lucid and are trying easy Will. Is it just to try to practice the mechanics, or do you prefer to solo everything? Is that like kind of the goal?
No, it's pretty much about the time. I used to be like not constant with the time that I can actually play. So I try to solo when I can make it into a party. I do the party, but it's mostly with my brother because I don't have really so much time to play, so I try not to commit with any party to not be able to make it to the day.
With hermano.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you still generally play with your brother together whenever you can? Or does he?
Yeah, we actually are starting to try to do this kind of bosses like normal, lucid, and if he tries to level up a bit, maybe we can try to do normal will and that kind of content. But yeah, but I mean, I can try to make into a party with the guild or something like that. But at the moment, I've been soloing everything.
Yeah, because of inconsistent play times. Time zone is pretty good though, right? Because with Americans, you're in the same time zone, so that's not a problem.
Well, yeah, kinda.
Kind of.
But I tried to join parties on weekends since it's the day like I have the time to play actually.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And during the week, you only have like hour and a half or something.
I mean, during the week I'm on the computer, but I have to work like the whole day.
Oh. Okay,
so it's like impossible to me to make it on weekdays. So
I see. Okay. Achieved on mules 232, 19k buck, and then 230 Demon Slayer. Okay, so doing Lotus Damien and everything below that.
Yeah. Okay. For those two, I'm doing everything up to Lumion, and I have a palette too that I level up with. Actually, it was the second Terraborn I got with Destiny, and I make it to the whole CRA and HMAC.
Yep, on the Paladin.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can die actually, so it's pretty easy actually.
Yeah, it's hard to die on the Paladin. I heard for a lot of people they like it as a boss mule because you just log in and you don't really have to learn the mechanics. You just spam the buttons and you don't.
Yeah, you just stand there and push. Press the button that you got the attack, and that's it.
And you have a self bind. That's always nice.
Yeah. Self bind and that invisibility frame, that which is I don't know. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm glad you're finding characters that you enjoy a lot, right? That's sometimes for people it's very hard. They go through all the characters and they're like, I don't know which one I really like, but you seem to find a lot of them that you enjoy pretty early, so that's good. Well, I say early,
Yeah,
but you probably have decent Legion, right? So you've seen a lot of them already.
I think in the images I sent you, it's like 6.5, but actually I was training a bit, and it is almost 7K right now.
Okay.
I'm missing like 80 levels or something like that.
Nice. Okay. And there's probably still a few characters you can get those easily, right? Some 140s.
I think I'm missing like 3 more or maybe 4. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because you're up to 42 characters total now, right? Oh yeah, I see you have 35 here, so you went up in amount of characters since then?
3 more.
Okay.
I did Battle Mage, I did the Wild Hunter, and the Mechanic, up to 105.
So working on the Resistance Link skill, I see.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm just thinking about the blaster, and it's making me crazy. So.
Yeah, it's something else.
I just don't like the blaster, so it's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strong. It's pretty strong, so you can get the levels pretty easily, but you kind of have to turn your brain off and just do the thing and not try to, worry too much about optimizing and everything, because that's, I don't know. Some people really like the whole combo system, but a lot of people are just not built for that type of gameplay, so, no. So would you say you're... Sorry, go for it.
I think the last time I tried to level up, it was on regular server, and I did with bunks. I just threw a lot of them, and I got the blaster to 150 with a Mega Murdinator, so it was pretty easy that way. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's a general advice I would give as well. I mean, to some extent, you could learn to like the character a lot more if you practice it a bit more, but on the other hand, it's still a video game and it's supposed to be fun, so why torture yourself with a class if you can also just get a bunch of free content from the game? Might as well put it to use on a character where you get more value from it, right? I.e. where you can bypass a whole lot of suffering. So that makes that makes perfect sense. There's nothing wrong with that. So do you in general do you follow the links command, the one that I have on screen right now? Roughly, like which characters you make?
I think I read it before, but I was like, when I found the spreadsheet, I was already going. So I'm just trying to fill up the space that of the classes I don't have.
Okay, sure, yeah. Eventually, you just make one of all, right?
Yeah.
So you're just finding the last 10 classes you don't have. They're probably most likely ones on the bottom here, right?
Yeah, I think I used it before because I was like, okay, I'm missing like 8 classes to be counted for the Legion level. So I tried to find those who were in the first spots to complete the Legion. Right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, as long as that general information, it's not like you have to do numbers 1 through 42, but as long as you have the top 10 to 20, those are definitely very important. And then, whatever you enjoy playing or whatever you just feel like making is totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so you're already at 7, so you're going nice and fast on the Legion. Okay, so you said you had some extra concerns. Do you want to get through those first to get those out of the way so that we can move on to the questions up top that you had there, considering your general account progression and prioritization and kind of the account balance?
I think the most the thing that I'm concerned the most is about if I should try to push more the level of my main, or maybe just go all the way up to 8K Legion and try to level up then.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should prioritize the Legion or maybe my main level. So I'm not really sure that way.
What do you enjoy doing right now? Do you do both?
I'm doing like I try to not doing the same the whole time because I get bored so fast. So maybe one week I like to throw some totems on my main, and then I try to get some mules up. So this week I was all the way through Legion. So I make the bishop up to 200. I did the same on an arc, and push those resistance links up to 150. I think it was yeah.
And is this fun? Like, do you find like your day's filled and you're enjoying yourself and you feel like it's productive at the end of the day?
Yeah, this week actually I think I made some progress because I was like feeling some kind of stuck in the content. So I find it really relaxing for me this week. So yeah, I think it was.
Okay, well, because I think that's probably the most important like barometer to check. Like, do you feel like you're enjoying yourself and like it's a good time? Because I think what happens most of the time is people feel like, okay, I need to work on Legion because my Legion is low, and then they'll spend all their time on Legion, and then at the end of the day, it kind of feels shitty because their main is not moving anywhere, or they'll be grinding their main and they'll feel like that it should be faster because their Legion is bad. But so in general, I just look at the progression grid and see like, are you roughly like within the parameters of where you're expected to be around your level, you know? Because this takes into account the access of things and takes into account what is in general a good balance of where to spend your time. And like as long as you're working towards 8k Legion by the time you're hitting like you're in like the late 260s, you're totally fine. So I don't think you're like off balance on anything. So as long as you're enjoying yourself, and so there's one thing to be said, right? Like let's say that there's a big Star Force event coming up and you want as much money as possible. It might make more sense to spend a little bit more time toteming on your main so that you can make more money, right? And then that way you can do 2 birds in 1 stone. You can also get the levels on your main and you can get extra money. But then if you don't feel like grinding on your main as much and you want to work on your Legion, or there's a few characters you want to try out and see if the 5th job is fun to maybe make as a bossing mule, then you can just spend some more time towards that. What it really comes down to is, are you enjoying your time and do you have the totems to do so?
Yeah, about the totems, I think I've been using like half of them the last 2 or 3 months. I let's say that these months have been like kind of difficult to have some time to play like I wish. So, but I think I'm throwing like at least 5 to 6 totems on my main every month, but not all the time I have the time to do like the whole totem. But I prefer like let's go for an hour and a half, and instead of nothing. So that's what I try to.
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
most of the time.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I've had months where I just had like 12, 13, 14 totems just all expire at the end of the month. Like there's no there's no shame in like not wanting to grind or just not feeling it. I honestly, until you're trying to like push past 270, I don't think there's any like really pressure to use all the totems or something. But as soon as you're going past certain level spikes and you're trying to hit those next caps, so you're trying to go from 270 to 275, 275 to 280 or something like that, then you kind of have to do your totems. Because if you don't at least do your totems, you might as well just not try to do the levels at all, because you're just not going to get there, right? But until you get to that point, you know, just all gains is gains, you know, no matter how small, even if it's 45 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes on a totem, you know, it's still more than doing nothing. And if it fits in your schedule, then that's what's most important. So, yeah, I think there's nothing to worry about, because I think you're in a really good spot. Your Legion is probably a little bit higher than what most people's is at your level. You can click people now, right? You can see what people's levels are and what their Legion is. So when you click on them, you can kind of see other people around your level, like what is their Legion. And you can kind of use that as an indicator on where to go. Like most people in their 260s, yeah, see, like this guy is 264 and he's got like 8k, you know, like just random dude I clicked here. This guy's 265, exactly 8,000. See, he wanted to get 8k and then get the fuck out. Yeah, so that's, yeah. And then this guy's got 8.7, so this guy probably is in Bounce Ethereal, so this is probably not even his main character. He's probably got another character that's higher level than this. Yeah. So, you know, you can kind of see that way, and you'll probably see people around your level that you're probably at the same legion or probably higher. And some people enjoy more playing a lot of other characters because they don't want to get bored. You know, they like the change of pace. I like playing a lot of different characters as well, which means that you won't have one character that's all the way there. But the main thing that you're going to have to decide is, and that's mostly once you get like past like 260, is whether you go in width or in depth, right? And it's you want to go in depth is what you're saying. So you have to, the main thing you'll have to think about is like, how do you do that sustainably, like for the long term, because it is a long-term decision. And you seem like you're not the person who's just going to be all in all the time on your main character, because then you're going to get bored out of your mind, right? So
yeah, I have to be like trying the mules in order to be like enjoying the game, because as I said, I used to get bored so fast. So
what I did to kind of avoid that is to have a side character, so not as a mule or as a boss mule, or as a link skill or whatever, but actually like a side character. And I wouldn't go push super hard on it, but I would be able to kind of experience again what it was like to be at the lower level, and you know, still gain levels when you use a totem, actually move forward, and actually play a character that just was really enjoyable to me. And the goal kind of, or what ended up happening, is that you have a few characters in all the stages of the game, so that if somebody wants to do a party or someone wants to do a boss, like your brother or someone in a guild, you'll always have a character available that can do that content, where they can carry their own weight, and it's not super easy, and it's so you're not getting carried, but you're also not carrying, so that you have more free, you know, freedom to be like, oh, today I just feel like playing this character, and then you have a character that can do stuff. And I think you're at this point now where you have a few characters, right? Because like the Buck and the DS definitely got a little bit more love already. Like they're already in the 230. So, you know, I don't know if one of those two you're thinking maybe moving them past like being a boss mule, but actually being kind of like a side character.
Yeah, I'm doing so with the Buccaneer. I actually just made it the Meso drop gear, so I'll try to push the level to 40 at least. And I'm getting like really good rates with Meso and EXP, so I try to push it to a little bit more.
Yeah, you're going to be limited in total amount of time. If you do want to go Black Mage, the main problem with like going Black Mage is the problem that your brother has now with Will, is that you want to be pretty much at least level 270. Under that, you're going to get way too much damage reduction, and you'll have to overcompensate that damage reduction with so much damage that it's going to be very inefficient.
Yeah. No, I think that kind of content I will try to do with my guild, maybe with the Alliance or something like that, because I don't really think my brother has the time or the patience to go that further in the game. So I think I'm on my own for that content. So.
Yeah, and other people can help you with that. But the other thing is also like up to 260 now, they did tweak down the EXP curve, right? And so up to 260 is now much more manageable. But the main problem past 260 is a lot of people have to stay in Limina for extended periods of time to get their bossing familiars, right? If they want to really push all the way, then it's a good idea to make sure that you have good familiars before you move on. Plus, right at 260, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to go to Cernium for training. You're going to do your dailies, but you're most likely not going to be able to train there, especially not as a Windarcher, right? Because there's so much HP and so much damage reduction. So you're going to take a hit in the amount of EXP that you get, and it's mostly going to be a matter of just like cranking out the totems. And if you're not fully using the totems, the main obstacle I see is going to be feeling like you're still progressing, even though the amount of EXP you get and the levels you get is going to be not very high. So it's going to be more about feeling that you're moving forward rather than actually being the moving forward. That's going to be the mental struggle. Yeah.
I'm trying not to be so, I don't know, too pessimistic with the rate, because of the actual time that I used to play. So I know it will take to me like longer than anyone else, but I think I can make it. So I like 3 months before, I didn't think I couldn't make it to 250. So why not 270 or something like that? So
yeah,
I'm not in a hurry.
Okay, no, that's good. it's good because yeah, if you're in a hurry, then MapleStory is not for you. People who are in a hurry and like get carried on everything and they burn out faster than a match. It's just not it's not for them. But it seems like you've got the good mindset. But yeah, I don't know. Does that answer your question? Does that give a little bit more clarity on what to look for and what to look out for? Or
Yeah. Actually, it did. Yeah.
okay. Cool. Should we talk about the concerns you had on the bottom? To get those out of the way, so that we can look at your equips and all the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah. You mean professions and that kind
all
of
that
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Since we were talking about the mules and something like that, do you think it's like a good idea to split some funds on maybe the year on my mules on my bug? Actually, at the moment I have like 20 bills I've been saving. I'm making like
20 what?
to 10 weekly. 20 bills.
Oh, bill. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm making between 5 to 10 bills weekly, depending on if I can touch them or not. But I think it's like that. Let's say 6 bill week. Yeah, something like that, because I'm not playing so much these days. So.
Yeah, you're inevitably gonna wanna split your resources to a certain extent. When you're talking about resources, though, money is definitely a thing, but money is only one of the things. So the beautiful thing that starts happening, especially when you get access to more weekly bosses, is that your cubes and hopefully your flames at a certain point you get to where you want, but flames are not as common anymore, sadly. RIP. But the flames, the cubes, especially the Master Craftsman cubes, pretty early on can start trickling down to your other characters, right? And as a result, you're going to be funding those characters without actually directly using the... Oh, here. Fucker did this. Funding your other characters without directly throwing money at them. And you want to make sure that you're definitely doing those things, the ways that you can fund your characters without actually using the mesos as much as possible, so that you can keep as much money available when events roll around to optimize your use there. So I'm assuming that the Master Craftsman cubes and sometimes Meister cubes are already being used on like the Buck and the DS, right?
No, actually, I'm using them on the Para since I...
Okay, Paladin already. Okay, yeah, that's good, that's good, yeah. And you're doing more bosses on them, so there's from 3 characters is already flowing down, right?
Yeah, I spent... The thing is, I was not that patient when the DMT comes, so...
I see.
and I spent like the whole message that I got put in on Legendary, the whole set from the bug and the DS, so I kind of regretted later because I had to safeguard the whole way to 17 when I was trying to put the Absolute, but I was in that point already, so
it's about the same. So when you do DMT up to Legendary, you save about 500 mil per equip, and if you do the transfer method, you save about 500 mil per equip. So whether you use a DMT and then safeguard, or whether you do the the foddering and then do the star forcing after off DMT, it comes around to about the same. On average, it's about the same cost. But now that you know that, and the character, that's the general thing that you learn and that you get more efficient with between your characters, is that you learn to which extent do you need to push already, and to which extent can you kind of wait and put off upgrading because your character is already kind of strong enough, right? One of the big things is nodes and how you distribute your nodes between your characters, and that might be something we need to think about a little bit, because if you want to keep pushing on your main character and you want to keep doing those harder bosses, the question there is a little bit like how early, like how quickly, how soon do you want to be able to do those, versus do you have a character that you want to do a few more bosses on and they have only like level 3 boost nodes. 100 nodes on a character that has almost nothing is an insane gain, and 100 nodes on a character that almost has everything maxed is barely noticeable, right? So that comparative advantage there can be a bit tricky. But do you feel like you have enough experience there, or do you need some specific advice there?
Well, what I've been doing these days is like I'm throwing all the notes that I get from all the characters except the Buccaneer to the Windarcher. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to push like at least to level 20 the notes on the Windarcher, and then
Mm-hmm.
the notes I get from the Buccaneers, I just use it on the Buccaneer itself.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm. For
I'm
Buck, it's
trying
mostly
to.
just your spinny dragon. What's it called again? Lord of the Deep, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
but I think I have the lot of the build already on like 20 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more about I'm boosting on
The
my
Octopunch
my
boost nodes
trios.
and yeah,
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 yeah. To make sure that when you're bossing, you're not just jumping around with Lord of the Deep. You're actually doing damage with other skills as well. That's
yeah. I'm trying to make those clears a little bit easier on those characters because I was like struggling too much with the DS particularly. So I'm trying to like
mm-hmm.
getting them to the point where I don't have to struggle so much. So it's a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bit easier, faster maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So that you can maybe do more bosses within the guild skills, so you can make your money a bit faster, more
Yeah,
overlap between all the buffs. Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds like a good idea. Um, I'm not as sure because Windarcher is mostly DPM, right? Not as burst heavy.
It doesn't have any words.
No, no.
It depends completely on the howling gale, the big tornado. So
Yeah,
if if for example for me like the last phase for Lucid is like hell because
yeah.
the
I can
spheres
imagine.
just flew away, and the tornado just go down and bye bye.
Yeah, I saw
So
Pathfinder have a problem with that as well. Big tornado, platform breaks, rip damage,
yeah,
fail run. Yeah.
it's like
Um, yeah,
goddamn.
yeah, yeah. Not great. True. Because most you'll be at the point now where most, especially because of burst meta, blah blah blah, that most archers are going to be maxing out their vicious shot, right, to try to get that extra critical damage.
What?
Vicious shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have to like really try to push the level on this node, or if I should be like hanging around and throw some tauntings anytime. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, no, like I said, specifically for wind archers, it might be a slightly different balance, but you're still trying to commit as much damage as possible during a bind, and you're probably in a domain, so it's still good to throw all of your big bursts and your big buffs together, especially when the Empress skill gets a lot stronger as well, right? Then that will be your burst basically, right? Vicious shot and the Empress, and then your hyper skills.
Yeah, and I think with the changes incoming in Ignition, it should like improve a little bit the
Mm-hmm.
boost
Yeah, actually have burst a little bit, yeah.
with
Still,
the Howling Gale getting the second tornado. It should be like a little of improvement there. So
yeah. Yeah, like what is it, like one empower tornado and one weak tornado or something, right?
I think there's two big tornadoes.
Okay.
It's like that, but I'm not really sure if the second one has the same damage or the same line. So,
Hmm.
but gains are gains, so I won't complain.
Yeah, there was a change to the hyper skill though, right? Instead of it being a passive, it's like a temporary buff, and people didn't seem super happy with that. Like the really big arrows.
Not really sure about that change
Yeah.
actually, but let me.
Yeah, we'll see how that affects them. But yeah, if you're doing the harder bosses, especially if you're moving in, like you're doing normal lucid and normal will, it's probably still fine. But if you're gonna do like full party runs and you're gonna go towards hard lucid and hard will, especially if you're getting like closer from 250 closer to 255 and everything, yeah, past the boost nodes, you probably want to be working on that vicious shot to get that level up. That's still going to be important to confirm more burst, especially if the parties are going to look for how much, try to ask for like a 40-second BA. If you don't have the vicious shot level, that's going to hurt your 40-second BA a lot. And you can tell them like, oh, I'm DPM, I'm not very burst heavy. But that's only going to work if people really know the game quite well. And typically around that point, people don't. So they might judge you on the low number, you know. So if you don't want to have to lie, then leveling up the vicious shot is going to help you quite a bit in the critical damage department.
Well, for most of the people don't. I don't think they like so much the Windarchers. So
Yeah.
we are so underrated. So.
The solution is just that you make the parties. You just recruit people. Because one of the most annoying things about the bosses is getting everyone to show up and keeping people together and, you know, contacting everyone. That's like the annoying part. So if you do that part, then I think people are okay doing more damage but not having to do any of the managing.
Well, let's see how he ends. So
Windarcher Pep W. Oh yeah, Tomer played Windarcher when he was still playing. Well, you have the green crystal is very nice in scenarios, right? For Lotus and Damien.
What?
The green crystal you put down, the decoy.
You mean the puppet?
Yeah.
To like the yeah, I really like that skill. I think that was the key point to main the winner.
Yeah.
I just love to put the crystal down and just run away, and he will be like throwing everything to the crystal. It's amazing.
Is it? I imagine it's super useful in like Helix, right?
Yeah, completely easy to clear because I just throw the crystal one way and just flew to the other way, and that's easy as hell.
Nice. Thank God. At least something that, you know, works really well for Windarcher then. Might not have burst, but at least you have that. So it's a trade, right?
Yeah. We can have everything, I think so. Actually, the shield is also good for some survivability, so it's like great.
Yeah, exactly. You just boss comes towards you, you just put the shield somewhere else. Boss walks right past you, and you just dash around. Yeah. And that really weird hover you guys have, it's interesting. You just like air walking.
Yeah. And it's not that fluid as a glide, but it works.
Yeah,
it works
kind of.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, if you have really good ping, then it's almost better than a glide, right? Because you can stay in the air quite a bit longer.
I don't think I have a really good ping since I'm
really
far away from.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think I've been doing kind of well with that. So.
Okay. Yeah, and then when it comes to mesos, it's really going to depend on what the next project is. So I would pretty much always look at upgrading and stuff of functionality rather than, you know, more in like, do you need to versus do you want to? Because, you know, if you get to do you want to, well, now the world's your oyster, right? Now you're never done. So if your character is like, okay, I have 12-star CRA, like maybe the Paladin is probably like 12-star CRA right now, I'm guessing, right?
I think on Paladin it's 15 stars, the CRA set, but between Epic and Unique.
Yeah, and that's fine, I think. So you know now in your head, like, okay, next 5, 10, 15, I definitely want a 17-star to CRA, right? On the Paladin, I'm still doing CRA weeklies to make sure that I have backups, so I don't have to safeguard, blah, blah, blah. And you know roughly how much that costs. So that money is already kind of like spoken for. So you know that money isn't going to be used because you want to be able to do more bosses and more content on the Paladin, and you want to be able to do the things you can already do faster. And 15 to 17 that's already set that you want to do that. Because if you didn't want to do that, then you wouldn't have gone to 15 in the first place, right? You would have stayed at like 11 or 12.
Yeah, so actually for the Paladin, I have already the rank Maru pieces from Transfer Hammer to Absola when I decide to do the weekly. So it's kind of waiting on weeklies to get the Absola done. But I have some 16 pieces to Transfer Hammer to Absola.
So is the goal for the Paladin to just get to the same point where the Buck and the DS are now?
Actually, I was thinking throwing the hyper burning on the Paladin on emission. So maybe I will try to push a little bit.
Right.
More
trying to get a little bit more overpowered gear so that you can go the whole way without having to stop in between, and you can just go full hyper burn.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, and the Buck you want to push a little bit further towards 240.
Yeah, the thing is, I really like to train the Buccaneer, but
Hmm.
it's not the same feeling exactly with the Paladin. So I would rather prefer
It's different, really?
to.
You're not just launching yourself through the map like a rocket?
I mean, it's not boring and it's not difficult. It's actually really. I don't know how to say, but I just like it, but not that much as a Buccaneer. So
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to level the Buccaneer than the Paladin. So
Mm-hmm. Is the bossing
I
on the
would.
Buccaneer also fun?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do really like it. It's moving. It's just amazing. It's
Mm-hmm.
another level, and it has. The only thing I don't really like is you have your iframes on your burst,
Iframe
but
burst, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's actually with Lightning 4 you can make it to have like three mini iframes,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
it's
And
really
energy
nice
charge as
actually.
well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh
really
no, it's not
nice.
no longer energy charge, of course. The energy bar is gone now. Does it do anything like
Yeah,
that? Like that it changes the uptime for loaded deep at all or no?
uh, I'm not really sure actually.
Yeah.
I'm so,
Yeah, for bossing it's a bit
I
weird, right? Because I think it charges energy faster on bosses because usually it charges based on kills, but of course you don't do a lot of kills when you're bossing, so.
and when you're buzzing, you won't lose the lot of the deed. It will be like up the whole time unless
Mm-hmm.
you die.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you die and you don't have a freezer, you will have to wait the whole cooldown. So
Oh yeah, that
it's like
sucks. Hmm.
it's like tricky because if you don't have the lot of the deed, you will lose in like half the DPS or something like that.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
it's like it's not funny when you
No.
when you die and you don't have any
No, I
freezer.
know
So
that feeling, like doing the weekly bosses and then doing all the checklists and then going in, dying, and then not seeing the button to click, and it's like, oh, there go my guild skills for 29.5 minutes. Never mind, I'll come back later. Because
if I would receive a bill for each time I forget to buy the boost freezer, I think I will have like 300 right now. So
yeah, you'll be level 270 soon because you'll have the gear to be able to do it. Did you
yeah, completely.
oh, what was I gonna ask? Buff freezers. Money. Oh yeah, guild skills. Do you have access to guild skills on the other characters as well?
Yeah. On my paladin, I just have like the critical damage, and I think I have up to level 5 boss damage. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure, but it's like a mule guild, so
I see. I see.
it's not that high the guild skill. So,
Yeah, the culvert is a
but
little bit
no,
rough to score high on.
but
Then yeah,
but the DS and the Buccaneer has the. Let me check. Let
like
me
30
let me tell
plus,
you.
at least two maxed, right?
Yeah, it has hard hitter for the guild on 15 and boss layers on 8.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's solid. That allows you to, because again, like we're talking about funding and how much resources you put into a character. So if you have access to guild skills, that is a very important factor to know, because I would say that having guild skills, at least at that point that you're talking about for the buck, that's probably the equivalent of like 5 to 6k stat, I would say. Just being able to
yeah,
have those. So that means that if you're looking at like, oh, you want to be roughly at whatever, I don't know, 15k stat, that's including those things. So if you're already at 20k and then you have those things, then Lotus and Damien should actually be pretty fast.
with the Buccaneer, it's really fast right now. But with the DS, I think it's more about to know well the class
Mm-hmm.
to like try to push the performance. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I'm getting better with the DS, but I'm not in that spot where I can like easily clear everything. Uh, for Deming, I struggle a bit too much right now, but I'm trying to like getting better on the battle. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
And the are there other resources? I guess familiars are a resource, but I'm assuming that you're throwing all of that to the Wild Hunter, right?
uh, what
F-
Windarcher, you mean? I think.
yeah, the familiars. Oh, sorry, did I not say? Did I say Wild Hunter? Other W.
Yeah.
Yeah, Windarcher. Yeah, my bad.
I have on the Winarcher 2 familiar with 20% ID,
Okay.
and I think I have one drop rate, and the other the other are like the rare line. I don't remember what does it say. Let me check. Give me a second. I forgot to put it on there. Yeah, increasing item drop rate by the small amount, and the other one I have is increase item drop rate.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the
But
rare line, right? From Blue Familiar?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, as long as you have increased item drop rate and you have IED, then you're in a good spot there. And then, you know, if you're training and you want to make epics, so the value that you can get is basically to try to get that same thing, but like the 15% IEDs and maybe increase item drop rate on your mules if you want to. Only if you have the room, of course. Like if a character already has a lot of IED, doesn't really need the IED, you can try to squeeze in like an item drop rate. And I guess for your Buccaneer, it's probably a good idea to do that if you're going to be leveling for a while, right? And for the other ones, probably just slam IED, although the Paladin probably doesn't need it because you got your 50% debuff built in,
Yeah.
so probably like item drop rate as well. But that would mainly just be like the rare cards, right? Transfer the rare cards over and reveal those. See if you can get it. Other than that, I'm guessing you're just making epics on the Windarcher?
Yeah, I'm trying to do as many epics as I can in the Windarcher because I haven't get the item drop rate by a large amount.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for.
Yeah, as long as you're
And I
chasing
don't
that
know
one, it's good, yeah.
And I don't know when I should try to push with the uniques. So
I would do that after you get the large drop rate.
okay.
Then you get a lot of cards, and then you can... Because if you go for uniques now, a lot of times you'll just be, you know, you train like a whole totem or a half a totem, and then you can do like one attempt unique and fail, and it's like, wow. But once you have the large drop, you know, then you get a lot more cards, and then you can put those to work and start making those uniques.
Okay. Yeah.
I
think
yeah.
the other question like I have is if I really need to do Commerci to get the tattoo and the other stuff. I'm really like thinking about it. I just don't want to add another daily to the list. So
Yeah, I get that. A lot of people don't want to. It's content that's just... It's very, very, very repetitive without... yeah, it's just kind of like old content. It's kind of boring. One thing I will say, I said it yesterday on stream as well. We saw a few pieces of content that are going to be removed in November. Mainly because the content doesn't exist in Korea. And I hope mostly because it's kind of spaghettiing up the game code. I can imagine that Commerci kind of does the same thing where it kind of spaghettis it up. And it's also not in Korea, so... As a general PSA, I would say to everyone, make sure you always do Commerci every day so we don't lose that content. But also for you on an individual level, there is definitely a way that you can kind of just bypass the whole need for Commerci. The main thing with Commerci is just that it is a reasonable alternative in between the boss accessory stuff and like basically boss accessory stuff and pitched, right? The Dawn Warrior set that came out from Korea had that purpose as well because they don't have Sweetwater or Golix. So their way of bridging that gap is the Dawn set. But for most people, the Dawn set is going to be at most a 2-set thing. So you'll still have slots available where you can use the Sweetwater things. It's more one of those things where the other systems don't really have pity systems, right? Like either you get it or you don't. And... You know, for Commerci, you buy it with the coins, and the coins are guaranteed. So it's kind of like there is a pity system. So as long as you do it, you will get the equips. Like they're guaranteed, but it'll take a while. You can definitely bypass the monocle with how many marks you have. I would definitely do that, and just get enough to like buy a tattoo for now, and then just sit on that until you get to the point where. You get like a really, really nice flame on a Dominator or something, and then you can be like, okay, I'm going to go for Transposed Pendant, something like that.
I think one of the Dawn Pendant is on 15 stars. One of the backups is on 15 stars because I was trying like I was considering like this one is I think 18% dex and 20% drop. So I was like hoping to keep with that until the end of the day. So like to be part of the drop mess or
Yeah,
gear. So
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So do you like sometimes just flame another one on the side, or?
yeah, I was trying to like reflame the pieces I see that has like the worst flames, so I tried to push a bit more, but my luck just is not there. So
Yeah, you don't have any crazy rolls. What's your best flame? Would you say?
I don't know. Actually, I think the Absolab, the shoes is not that bad. It has like 100, 120, 123, I think,
Oh
decks.
wow, nice. Yeah, 123 decks. That's quite a lot. It's a big number for Absolab. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, it's in the on the bottom. Yeah, I think it's the shoes.
Yep, that's quite nice.
I think that's the best. I'm not really sure actually.
Oh, and
I
it's
will have
tier.
to check.
I think you have a tier 7 attack on the bow as well. That's not too bad. Nice
Yeah,
potential.
the only thing is doesn't have anything else. Just
Doesn't have
have
anything else.
the
Yeah.
yeah. I think I just remembered and it gave me like bad feelings. I just want to cry. I think I had like 80 attack and 10%, but that's, I just rerolled that and
Yeah.
when I look, it was too late. So it was an
Unfortunate.
automatic.
Yeah.
So I lost the roll. So
just click, and then you're like,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
and then I was fucked. So
Yeah. Now you can do the black flames or something, right? The black eternal flames maybe. But
yeah,
if you get them left, we get them more now, but they're still very rare. So it's every time it's a little bit of a YOLO roll. But yeah, so for Commerci, that's probably what I would do. You know, like get enough for a tattoo at least. Because what are you using as a face now? Using the
Sakum face, and it
Sakum.
has the
Meso.
meso drop, I think. So
Yeah,
I don't really have any face accessory with damage actually.
Yeah,
So
that'd be a big upgrade for you. So I would definitely work on towards the tattoo, and then wait until you get to the point, because there is definitely a bunch of other flames that you can work on just to get them all up a little bit, and then if you really hit some crazy flame on your dominator, if or once you know that the next project, because everything is kind of okay, the next project is definitely going to be your dominator, then go back to Commerci and start saving up for your pendant. The thing is just like the pendant I think is 350 plus the trying to transpose is 10 per day, so that really adds up to quite a lot of dineros just to get one and to get a transpose. So yeah, all in all you probably want to get at least like 1,000 dineros.
I think that those projects that I have like to do right now is the secondary and the face accessory, because I'm using the frozen one that I got from the Terra that I use on the Windarcher, but it has just boss damage and some stats, I think.
Yeah, 6 all set, yeah.
And I have a Princess No one, but it has 18 damage or 21 damage attack.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But you have another one, right? Because I think I saw another backup.
Yeah, I just trying to.
Oh, unique one. Oh yeah.
To rank up. Yeah, I'm trying to rank up to legendary, to try not to roll on the frozen until I have something better to use for bossing.
Yep. Yeah, where the third line also does something like an ID or an attack line, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like to roll over the frozen, because I had the pieces to craft a Princess No one and then try to tree up to legendary and get something better. So
yeah, I'm not 100% sure, because I don't think you want to spread yourself too thin and start rolling like making a whole bunch of extra legendaries. Like if you want to, you can make 20 of them, right, and have like the best for every single situation. But you want to not, especially with equips that are kind of expensive to make like that. Well, they're not kind of expensive, but you're going to be spending a lot on star forcing. Nothing on star forcing, but like a lot of it on just rolling the potential. I don't know about spreading yourself that thin, and if you're when it comes down to bossing, these two probably do about the same. because there's no ID involved, right?
Yeah.
So 70 volts and 21% attack. I'm going to assume that they're roughly similar, which does mean that you can, if you want to, reroll the boss damage one without setting yourself back at all, and it's already legendary. But the main question for you is, do you care more about the investment of one build, to get to legendary, or do you care more about the 6 all stat and 4 weapon and magic attack, right? That's just the question. And if for you, you're like, well, eventually I just want to go full Princess Nose because, Frozen Rev Brilliance is just not best in slot. Then
just the base stats is just better, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, then it's fine what you're doing. Then it's okay. You are at the point though that like the flames are first gonna go over to like the superior stuff is all like not flamed at all, right? And it's shitty to flame, but you can reasonably get like 30-ish flame score at least on all of them, or something like the earrings, where it's like 25 plus, because like the pendant and the belt like don't have anything at all. So if you're looking at like gaining like 60 to 70 flame score on those two pieces, that's going to be easier than gaining 60 to 70 on any of the other pieces that you have that already have a decent score, right?
I think when I was like reflaming some pieces, I was trying to reach 90 on the flame score. So I think it's what I got. There might be some of them which are like above 100, but I'm not really sure. I'm for the flame advantage one. So.
Yeah, for the flame advantage ones. But I think you're getting to the point as well where the ones without flame advantage, if they have basically 0, like the belt and the pendant, then might be a good idea to throw some flames on there, even if, the average outcome is literally just like 2 jump. There's still a decent chance that you make some gains there that are way cheaper there than they would be on the flame advantage item stuff. I think the only one is maybe your top, I guess, is the only one that could probably get like a decent gain with flames, but all the other ones, it's getting pretty expensive there.
Yeah, I feel like running from flaming like for forever, but I think it will come the time. So
for sure. Does that clear up Commerci for you?
Yeah, completely.
Okay, cool. What was next on the list?
I think the only one missing is the professions. So,
professions, yeah.
I haven't like leveled up any of them. I think I have on my paladin alchemy to level 5.
Okay.
That's all I have. But I don't know if I can just make the alchemy on that character and like share the potions and forget about it, or if I should try to level on everything.
Yeah, so there's like the easy stuff the easiest thing to level is smithing, right? I would say you want to get at least 1 level 6 profession just so you can extract equips. Do you do extracting at all?
No.
Okay.
Extracting anything.
Yeah. So if you extract versus the NPCing, you'll make on average about 4 to 5 times as much from the equips, which just over time compounds to like a decent amount because you get Philosopher Stones and you can NPC them for 300k each, and later on you will also need Philosopher Stones, and while you're doing it you'll also get like advanced monster crystals and superior monster crystals, and those will be needed for crafting later as well. So it's good to have like a little bit of a bunch of those so you can use them immediately when you need them, instead of when you need them now you have to start gathering them, because if you need to start looking for something when you already need it, it's always rare, right? But if you don't need it, it's everywhere. So it's a good thing to get started. So I would get level 6 for the first characters. It's usually easiest to build level 6 for smithing, because all you need is diamond or aquamarine and you just brute force arrows, and then you can easily get level 6. And at level 6 you can extract items of every level, so that's like the sweet spot. You want to have at least 1 character, like you said, that has level 10 for alchemy, so that you can make potions later. So it might be boss rush potions and stuff, but specifically you want to make the WOPs and the EOPs, right? You know about those potions? Yeah. You can, if you don't really like max out on your totems and all that stuff, you can get a decent amount of juniper and upkeep that juniper with just harvesting all the big flowers that you see, specifically gold flowers, and transferring everything to one character. But you will get to the point, especially if you start getting further on your totems and actually getting close to maxing your totems, you'll run out of those very, very quickly. And at that point, you'll want to do the Threads of Fate quest line to mass produce bags, which is what I'm doing right now. So I will talk to this guy here, and he'll get me his rewards, and he gives me these bags if you send him to do the right task. And that's
the Mon-Sun Shrine, right?
Yeah. So you want to unlock at least 2 people here. So the first ones you get to is Ibaraki and Takeno Konoko. And basically, once you have these 2, you can do talk. Like every hour you can talk to them, and it fills up their meter by, I think, by 2. And you can do that. You can do talking all the way up until they get to 50. And then you unlock the ask, and you can also do the... Well, before you can also do gift, but gift is limited to 7 per week, so you can definitely do the gifting, but you want to talk as much as possible. Especially if they drop like below 50, first finish up with talk, and then do gift, right? Because if you do gift first, then you can't talk anymore. So for these bags, you get 1 bag here, or 2, so... What is it again? You get 2 bags for every 10 closeness. So if they're at 50, you'll get 10 bags. Yeah. So you get 20 bags if they're maxed out. And yeah, basically you just click on them, ask, and see what what's it called? What instructions you give them, or what request you have for them. And you're looking for chop wood and gather herbs. Those are the good ones. Those are the ones that give these bags. The other ones, they give nothing. So if you click on one of the 2 characters and it's not one of those 2, then just bad luck. Try again the next day. And the first character you talk to after the daily reset will reset their ask. So once you get one of those 2 that you want, you have to remember which one it is. And then after the reset, when you talk to the other character first, right? The one that doesn't have the right request, so that one resets, and then just relog so that you can do the request again, and then do the request with the right character. And then you wait 30 minutes. It's best that you don't CC or move maps too much and do stuff like that. So you could do it while you're doing Totem, for example, if you're staying on the same map, or if you're AFK doing a progression session with someone, you can do it. And then you can open up all the bags. And then sometimes you open 60 bags and you get nothing, and sometimes you open 10 bags and you get like 40 oil. So if you do that for a while, you will be able to make an insane amount of potions. Because now it's been a few weeks that I'm doing this, and now I have like 80 potions of each or something. So you could very quickly start building up a whole lot.
I think right now I should have like 100. It's seed oils, right?
Yes, juniper berry seed oil. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should have like 120, because I used to get the professions as soon as I have the level. So I've been harvesting the whole way through. So I have like not so many, but I have some. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the dark purple. These ones are the flower oils are typically a little bit more common, sadly. You see I have like 5,000 flowers. It'd be cool if I could use those, but yeah, it's the one that's like deep purple color, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have like 120. That must be like, it is like 3 per potion, right?
No, 10 of them. But that 10 of them, but then you create 3 potions at a time. So it's like 3.3 per, yeah.
Yeah.
That was part of what were we talking about again? Oh, talking about the professions, yeah. The other things that you really use the professions for is to make shields secondaries, but I don't think you need to as a paladin, because I think it makes more sense to go for the regular secondary or the Princess Snow, right? Because you switch to two-handed anyway.
Using the rosary from Princess Snow, yeah. Yeah,
exactly. So that's not as necessary anymore, but it will be if you make a Shadower, for example, or if you're gonna do Explorer Mage, or what is it, like Evan or Beast Tamer, or Battle Mage, like all of those.
So I think that ES can use it too, right?
No, they have like their own type of shield, like what is it, Demon Aegis or something that they need to use. Yeah, that's the one I'm using right now. Yeah. That also gives you Demon Fury, so you want to use that one. Otherwise, you will have very low Demon Fury, and you'll like run out all the time.
Okay.
The regular shield doesn't have that, but I don't think you can equip it. And so that will be smithing, but that's pretty much it. If you get to end game, you might want to, or late game, end game, and you want to min-max on your damage, you might want to get to Meister on smithing, because then it unlocks a skill called Advanced Weapon Tempering, and that can give you 5% critical damage for 40 minutes on 50-minute cooldown. But this is mostly if you're like trying to min-max your damage. Most likely, even in Hard Loose and Hard Will, people don't use this, but maybe like if you're doing Tenebris or, you know, beyond. But by then you'll have a lot of resources and you'll be able to build it up very easily. So it will be no problem then. Just, you know, make sure you keep always harvest the big flowers and the big veins, so you have a lot of, you know, random materials. And then if there's like a new character and you're like, oh, I want to get my alchemy to level 6, oh, you just, you know, throw like a bunch of really shitty potions on there, and you just make some defense potions and whatever, and it'll level up very quickly, and like in 2 days you'll have level 6, no problem. You know, as long as you have enough materials. So for alchemy, I would do that. You can also check ! professions. Someone in my community made a video a little bit on how you can level up the professions easily. So it talks about like which potions you can make if you have a little bit like limited resources. And then for accessory crafting, it's really only just to make Meister rings when you get to that point. And for that one, I specifically have the ! Meister. Oh, I'm mistyping. And that'll just be if you have primals. So I would not worry about that at all until you have at least like 3 or 4 primals. And when you're planning on like sending rings past 17, basically, then you want to start worrying about that.
The primal essence, you mean the one that looks like a rock?
Yeah, like a little iceberg kind of looking.
Yeah, I have 4 of them.
Okay.
4 of them I have. Yeah. So
once you're in the budget, and it's basically between that one and between the Kana treasures, like those are the first items that you will get like past 17 after CRA basically. But most likely you will get your CRA at least all of it to 19 or maybe even to 21 before you get to that stage. But I guess that goes a little bit into the next question already of of like what order to upgrade all this stuff in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be closely after that, depending on your backups. But if you already have 4, then that's good. Then you just need to know in terms of like bottleneck how you're doing on the grand spell essences, because that's typically one that can be a little bit difficult to get enough of as well. How are you looking on the grand spell essences?
That's what I'm not really sure what it's.
It's like a black. Yeah, I don't know what this shape is called. Like a elongated hexagon. Yeah.
Those.
These right here, yeah.
I think I have some stacks, but I'm not really sure how many I have. I just kept it because I thought it could be used somewhere, but I'm not really sure how many I have.
Yeah, so these are like the grand. So I'm making the. So here what you can do is you make the regular boss rush potions. So you need like Hyssop flower oil, Twisted Time, Mana Crystal, Dusk Essence. You'll build these up over time. And then you can, so that makes 2 of them, and then you can refine them into 2 boss rush potions. So that needs Hyssop flower oil again. So this will also be a nice resource, and a brilliant Dusk Essence, and the grand spell essences. So you can always check with the things that don't need recipes. You can already check beforehand how much you need. So you can check accessory crafting, and then check the ring, and then look for Meister ring here. You can see with the M icon, right? It's the only item here that you need Meister for. So you can see how much it needs. So it needs 1 primal, it needs 150 grand spell essences, and then 35 philosopher stones. That's why extracting is also a nice idea to do. 800 twisted times, and then mana crystals easy, and severe abrasives you can just buy. So these are materials you're looking for. So you want to have at least like 3 to 4, I would say, until you work on getting to Meister and trying to make the rings.
I think I should have like around 2K of essences, something like that, because I have like 1,300 on the Windarcher, but I'm not really sure how many I have on.
Oh yeah, you always have more than you think, yeah, because if you throw all of it, even if all the characters just have 5 and you have 40 characters, that means you have 200, right? So it's very easy to get quite a bunch of them. Okay, so yeah, so
I
that might be something to think about. Maybe, yeah, depending on how quickly everything goes, but definitely towards the time where if we get the night troop, because that should have a no boom room, and that's usually a good idea to just send to make your Meister rings and just send them to 15, so that you don't have to safeguard. That'll save you a lot of money, because when it comes to Meister rings and it comes to Kana treasure rings, you can never really have too many, because eventually you're gonna want like a 22 Meister, a 22 Kana, at least a 21 Kana to transfer into 20 Superior and to tap that one again to 21. If that goes wrong, then you need another one. And then eventually another Kana or Meister to tap into a Superior to tap into the Slime if you don't get a whole bunch of Slime ring drops. So you'll need a lot of rings. So you can never really, yeah, you'll never really have too many there, so.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, we
I
talked
think
about the potions,
yeah,
the shields, the tempering, the rings. Yeah, that's basically all that's used for, yeah.
Okay. I think I will have to level them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so on a new character, the easiest thing is to just throw like a whole bunch of like shitty materials onto it just to level up the alchemy and get that to 6, and then you can always extract all your stuff, and then the Philosopher's Stones will bring in some money, and you really only need like, buffer of maybe like 50 Philosopher's Stones or something is usually already enough. Then you can craft anything that you need on the short term, and you can NPC all the rest just for extra money.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I think we can get to the equips and the upgrading and all that, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing that's missing right now, I think.
So we talked about it a little bit on the general order of things, right?
Yeah.
And so you have the CRA. You're already working on 19. That's good.
Yeah, I managed to get I think it was the top. Yeah. To 18, but it just kept
just one go
destroyed, so yeah.
oh booms, yeah. There's always one piece that's like the black sheep that just doesn't go.
To be honest, I think I threw like 10 bill on the top just trying to get to 19, and it boomed like, I don't know, 20 times or something like that. It was like depressing. It was terrible for me.
It happens, yeah. Mom was trying to get her glove to 19 yesterday, and her first tap was to 18, so she was just one tap away, and then I think she spent 32 bill. I never saw 19, and then it boomed, and then she just had to get her backup box and just get back to 17. Rip.
I was so happy because the hat went to 19 like
immediately.
In a bill or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Then
you know.
It boomed. Yeah, it boomed instantly. I mean, when I was trying to go 17 to 18, it boomed right away.
Yeah. Ooh,
but the second time I got to 15, it went the whole way through to 19 in immediately. But for the top, it was like, goddamn, and I just spent my whole message and got nothing.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get nothing, right? I mean, you got 4 stars, right? Yeah. So that's that's great. Yeah. So that makes sense that's like the next subject that you're working on, right? And other than that, the big major expenses is going to be probably, I mean, eventually the CRA to 21. And probably the tattoo, right? Trying to get the tattoo and get a 17-star tattoo with good potential up there. That'll be a significant upgrade. And then, past that, it's probably a little bit arcane waiting room, I think.
Yeah, I have like enough droplets to get 2 pieces, I think, but I'm missing the boss droplets, so I really have to like trying to make those normal at least party, so I can get those.
Exactly. Yeah, normal will and lucid party will be important to start.
Yeah.
As soon as possible, yeah. Because we've got a good drop gear, that's all clean, and the Abso is definitely good enough to be part. You got 31k stat, your Legion is good, so you can definitely do a normal slime is no problem for you, I'm guessing, right? Just like one test, maybe 2.
Really I'm doing right now 2 tests. Yeah.
2 tests, yeah. And then, but after the second one, it's like really close to, like right after the second one, it dies pretty immediately, I'm guessing.
It's like 10%, I think, missing, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I used to do it without the guild skill side, so it takes me a little bit more. So
I see, yeah. What I do is I start with like guild skills and with all the buffs, but except for the drop buff, and then do slime first, then damage gear, and then switch to drop rate gear and do the drop coupon, open the box, and then do everything else in drop gear as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I think I'm getting. I have like 228 to 28 drop with the Legion coupons, but I haven't been like so lucky with the drop. So
you have 5 lines of drop, right? Because I thought you had a double one.
I'm not really sure because I used the grid pendant too. It has 2 lines also.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to. Is it actually 2 or no? I guess we don't really know. But I got 5.
Let me check how. I might be 5 or 6 lines.
Yeah, 5 and whatever the greed pendant line is.
Yeah.
And then Mezzo, you have 1.
5 of them of Mezzo, yeah.
Oh yeah, the earring, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because the Abzo is in a really good spot where you don't need further. You are relying on the IED on the weapon though, so that's something to keep in the back of your head, right? How will your IED go when the weapon goes? Sure, 95. Yeah, because you're slightly on the upper end, but it's not like you're at like 98% or something. So losing a 35 will drop you down to what, like 92.5, something?
Yeah. Let me check. I think it's like.
The arcane weapon will have a 20 built in instead of a 10, so that's a little bit compensated.
Also leveling the luminous to 210 to try to get to get a little bit more.
And did you have the explorer mages already?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was a nice extra debuff as well. Oh, and you have that built-in debuff, right, with the little blue skill.
Which one?
I don't know, it's like third job skill or something that you lower. I believe you lower the IED of your targets.
I think it does. El Pinpoint Pierce, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name.
15% defense on. Yeah.
All I remember is that it was one that I kept forgetting during Project CRA. That's.
No. I use it all the time. I just.
Pinpoint
kind of
Pierce? Yeah, this one, right? Yeah.
Pinpoint Pierce, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little extra ID as well. Yeah, that should be enough then. Because you'll get ID from those sources. And you've got the... that's with the familiars though, right? The 20% ones?
Yeah, to 20%, 2 epics, 20%, yeah.
No, I should be in a pretty good spot then. And who knows, you might roll some kind of, IED boss or IED boss attack or something like that on a secondary, and then the IED will just come right back to you.
Yeah, I was thinking if I should like reroll the whole set for emblem, secondary, and weapon. So because I mean the emblem has the 21 attack, but the other line is crit rate, so
crit rate is still nice, right? Yeah. With Vicious Shot, it still gives you that critical damage, right? If you max out your Vicious Shot, so it's not the worst. It still gives you something. But you're right. But going from 2 to 3 is typically like, even on Emblem, is like a 30 bill project. So before, at least, it's like 30 to 40 bill. So if you are getting to that point, that basically means that you want to have your CRA all at 21 and probably all of your Superior Golics at 20 or 21 as well, and at least have an Arcane Weapon. So... because you kind of see all the potential, right, on your drop-in mesogear is like one big blob, and the potential on your WSE is like one big blob. I think since one of your pieces is going to be changing, which is the weapon, right, it's going to be changing to a superior weapon, to the arcane weapon, I would wait until you do that first, and then see what potential comes out there, and then based on that, look at your other two pieces and see what has to go. Cause say like your weapon rolls, I don't know, like 40 IED, 13 attack, 10 attack or something. You're not going to roll over that, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then that means you actually don't really need to change anything, then you're good. Or let's say that you roll boss, and attack, and it's like, okay, well now I have so much boss, now the secondary needs to roll away from all of the boss, right? Because then that's going to be way too much. So based on whatever you roll there, I would make a decision after that.
Okay.
And because you should be, like, that's not advice for everyone all the time, but for your situation it is, because you have enough damage between everything else that you can take the hit until then. You're strong enough. The main thing is going to be saving up for 5s and 15s and like tapping CRA and then tapping rings when you have enough, right? And then probably belt into High Star Force belt. That's going to be the easiest one to get. But you're building up the backups, right? So you're building the right ones. You're building the reinforced earrings. You're building up the pink bean belts. You've already got superior backups. Like this is a reinforced, right? These colors are,
yeah.
This one is superior. The top one, I think.
The top two are superior, yeah.
Top 2 is superior, yeah. Because these colors are...
let me see if that's all.
Purple. Yeah, these two look superior, yeah. So, like, let's say that you do CRA first, and that you have, like, a bunch of Kana treasure rings by then, and you have the ability to make a bunch of Meisters, so you do those first. And then you're like, okay, now I get to belt. And let's say you have, like, 8 superior belts or something. You're like, okay... Well, that means that you can also just try on the superior belt and you don't have to do the transfer, right? If you don't transfer, it's always cheaper. So there's a decent chance that you get right up to 21 with like 3 booms or something, 4 booms. That's pretty reasonable. So if you have enough backup belts, then you don't have to transfer at all, and then you can just go straight up on the item itself. That means you get to keep the potential and you don't have to do the extra star. So that would be cheaper.
Okay.
And that's why it's kind of a good thing that you don't have hundreds of billions, because then you would be rushing upgrades probably, and then you would end up actually spending more than you maybe have to. Because backups are money, right? Backups are insurance, and they help you,
What I was thinking about it was like, okay, let's save up the whole message that I get to try to wait for a shiny or something like that, because the other characters are like in a spot where they can actually make some money quickly. So I was like, okay, there's no rush to fund those characters, so I will try to just like
that's
wait.
Most likely, it's most likely like January or something, right? If for shining, I'm gonna guess. Yeah. Well, yeah, so I would say like a good idea is probably like next 5, 10, 15 to just do the Paladin thing, right? Like tap those things to 17. And then maybe, I don't know if your DS and your Arc have any kind of things that are at 15 already that just need to be finished. And then maybe the tattoo on your main, if you have that one by then, right? To get that up to 17. And then other than that, I would only think about like if we get the Night Troop to definitely like get some kind of treasure rings and some Meister rings like up to 15. That would be a good idea, so that you can start from 15 without having to safeguard the whole way through. But other than that, I would say probably save maybe your top to 19 and don't boom it 20 times this time. As like your really only project, I would say on the Windarcher, like only expensive project. And then wait for like Shining to do like tapping up to 21. And by then you'll have way more backups as well. So you'll just be able to see like, okay, where do I have the most backups? And then do that project first. And then if that project is done, move to the next one.
Okay. Yeah, because I think it's not necessary to like throw more cubes on items to try to get the 3 lines, right?
No. Your potentials are fine where they are. WSE is fine. The only thing, like the thing that has the most room for improvement right now, and that would be the most value to cube, would be your heart. Because the heart has like the lowest amount of junk lines. So that would be the cheapest. But even that, I would say it's no real pressure to do that right now. I would say it makes more sense to just save up your money and go for a big Star Force gains, and then circle back and work on your potentials a bit, like on the accessories that went up to like 21 stars, and then on the accessories on the superior, and then on the heart, like in one big group, basically.
Okay. And you think it's worth to go with the ping big mark to 21 too?
Yeah, well, that can only go up to 20, so I would probably 19.
Yeah, 20, I mean.
I'd probably 19 it, but you can wait until there's the unshining to do that.
The pop mark is the one that can make it to 25, right?
Yeah, but that's the one you typically get to 16 and then transpose into a monocle. So you can keep that as an option if you do get one, but you know there's a good chance you don't get one, or don't get one for a long time, because it's a very bad drop rate now.
I think I won't get anyone.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, yeah, get as much drop rate and try every week, but some people take years.
I've been killing CPAP for months and not a single drop on any character, so...
Yeah, some people go like 100 clears before their first one, yeah, or even more, yeah.
It's not like your ice lining, right?
Yeah, that one was first try. But all the other characters needed quite a few attempts. My Adele still doesn't have one. And that guy's been clearing, I think, a year and a half at least, yeah.
That's rough, yeah.
But it's also, I don't really need the upgrade. So if you do a lot of characters, and that's what might happen with yours as well, like you have a bunch of characters that are like 230s, 240s, and you can do all these bosses. Once you get a drop, it's like, oh, now you have something. Now you have something to flame. Now you have something to cube. And then you can make an upgrade there. But you'll get to a point where you almost don't want to get good drops, because then you feel forced to make an upgrade. And when the character is in a good spot, you don't need to save money. You just want to take the money away from it, right?
I think I got a pin big mark on my Paladin this week, and I was like, oh my god, I really have to cube this.
You don't have to, but it's like, it's right there.
Yeah, it's like, oh damn it. My mess is going down again.
Yeah, but again, but then it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Like, it depends on if you want the upgrade or if you need the upgrade, right? If you don't really need it, you can also just hold it until an event and then see, okay, at the event you look, where's the character now? Where do I want to take the character? And what is available to me,
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's more like, what do you think about it? What do you think I need to like to do right away to try to push a bit more into the start of Tenebris bosses?
Well, one major thing is going to be leveling.
Yeah.
You want to be at least 260, and then what's his face? Darkanel himself is level 265. So if you want to start doing that one, you can at 260. But it's gonna take some time and some pressure. Yeah, damage reduction is just a bit. That's because at 5 levels already, it's 25% damage reduction, I believe. So it's already pretty rough, and on top of like the ID and the fact that it's just cancer boss, all of those things together is not going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to go towards 260, but that doesn't mean like you have to beat 260 in 2 days. But it's just like the general progression. But yeah, in general, you're going to need to have, if you want to do Tenebris stuff, just the regular Tenebris stuff, right? Yeah, you definitely want to start moving towards the 40k stat as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and your boost nodes, the skill nodes, leveling of the skill nodes, right? So let's see if you're looking here. Yeah, because you're looking kind of like this, right? You're looking for like the middle of the stage here. So like Party, Hard Lotus, Hard Will, Gloom, Darkanel, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
Going towards Party Fihila. So you're going to be closer to the 260, low 260s. And then stat-wise, you're going to get closer to 40k.
This day I've been trying to push the normal Lucid and normal Wheel runs. Try to get the
arcanes are going to be just a huge, Even if the average Star Force in all of your pieces only goes up by like 1 or 2, but you switch out the Abzos for Arcanes, that's already going to be a massive win there.
But I mean, from which starts will be like better than my Absolab? 17 it should be already better, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you just need OK Flame, and for the glove, eventually you're going to go for double critical damage on that. So that'll be because you're going to keep those for a long ass time. So that's going to be a good upgrade. The weapon is going to just have way more attack, which means that the flame is also way better. Like even just the regular what is it, Arcane Umbra bow comes at, what is it, 280 276 276 flame, which means that with a 276, so you're at like 400 attack. 133. Oh yeah, so you're at 409 attack on just clean with flame, nothing else. And now you're probably like, what, you're like mid 300s or early 300? Yeah, 385, yeah. So it's already 24 weapon attack increase without Star Force.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah,
it's ridiculous how massive it is. That's why people are like, oh, do I buy the weapon or do I wait for a drop and stuff? It's always like, if you can afford to wait for a drop, then sure, you can do that. Yeah, if your party can clear, then and you don't need it, then that's totally cool. But I've never heard anyone regret buying a weapon. Even if you get a drop the next day, then you just have a backup for going to 19, right? Because you just gain so much from it. It's just a huge thing that everyone's like, I don't care if I even get like 3 drops in the next 2 days. Like, it's so big. I want it. And I hit numbers go brr. So
I think I'm close to solo normal Lucid too, but I just have to like get better in the last phase because, as I said, the tornado going down, the spheres just flew away. So I'm trying to like watch some videos from those with Windarcher, which are like crazy strong, and try to get better on mechanics, I think.
Do the tornadoes just go platform to platform to platform and they just fall down, or do they ever get stuck on a platform?
No, they go the whole way down. But
so you have to press the button to like make them bounce back and forth?
What?
You can like press the button again to make them change direction, right?
No, not for the tornado. No.
Oh, not for tornado.
I have to. No, they have their own wheel, so they will do whatever they want.
Okay, that's the phalanx, right? The phalanx you can. Or whatever it's called. Phalanx, yeah, that one changes around.
Birds, yeah. But with the tornado, it's more about a lucky throw, I think, because I sometimes when Lucid is like in the right spot, I just threw I just throw the tornado and it pretty much stuck with her, because when they find the target, they will be like slower. So
okay.
It's kind of tricky. I'm trying to figure out this part, so I try to.
Phase 2 is rough for you then, She just if she changes vertically, it's not bad, but horizontally, then you're fucked, because then tornado tries to chase and then just falls down and rip.
If I could do the Heaven of Son, the Son of Heaven while moving, it will be like a game changer. But
that would be big.
I just have to. I just have to stay and try to make as much damage as I can. So.
Yeah, and that big green sphere is also nice, but she can also just walk out of that if she wants to. And I guess that is why, even though you don't have a lot of burst, that's why it will be important to level up your vicious shot, because then at least you have her bound, and then you can confirm more of your damage, and then you can augment how much is confirmed during that burst.
Okay. I know you are like experienced Notestone hater or something like that. Let's say that, but do you think it's like worth to throw some of them on the vicious shot if they come on event?
If you have them, for sure, I would definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big proponent of buying them in event shops, because they're typically just way too expensive for what they do. But if you have so many resources that you can buy them and also buy all the other things that are important for you and that you want to buy, then definitely get them. But yeah, I would say they're a little bit lower on the priority list. A lot of people are like, oh, nodes, I have to get these, but they're like 1,000 each typically for event shops, and that's pretty pricey. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's better than nothing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, well, I think that's it. I think that's everything that I have in my mind, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we missed anything. Yeah, you have a nice amount of droplets, so hopefully you can get that weapon soon. Yeah, your inner is on boss, but also got a little bit of meso and drop, so that's about as good as you can have it. You're just like saving honor now. That's probably fine.
Yeah.
The dex in your hyperstats is maybe a little bit too high at this point. I don't know if you also... Do you also have some points in attack?
Yeah, I think... Let me check how much is it. Hyper... Wait, it's... I forgot the number for the preset for boss in... Wait.
The second one.
Yeah, here. Actually, I don't have any.
Don't even say, okay. So the general priority would be for attack would be higher than dex, because dex doesn't get multiplied by percentage, but attack does. Okay. So the attack scales a little bit better. And in general, if you have enough points to take your attack and dex like past 6, that's usually an indicator that it's a better idea to just reset and put more points into like boss damage or any of that. And then for you probably won't put as much into critical damage, because the further you go, especially once your vicious shot gets maxed, that won't scale as well as with a lot of other classes where you would put into critical damage. But comparatively, you'll put more into boss damage and into damage percent.
So you think it's a good idea to like set dex to 6 and attack to 6 too, and throw the rest on critical damage?
If you're gonna reset, I think it would make more sense for your current build to go something like considering that the critical rate and everything is good, that you go something like 9, 10, 11, 11, 11 or something like that. If you can do that,
okay.
And then have like 2 in dex and 2 in attack or something. And then as you're leveling, the dex and the attack will go up slowly until they're both at like 6. And then if you have enough points, then you can be like, okay, now I'm going to reset again. And then maybe do like 9, 11, 12, 11, 10, 12 or something like that. And then put the dex and attack back to like 2 or 3, basically.
Oh, okay. I get it.
But you probably will only do that like every 5 levels or something, that you really do like a big reset like that. Because sadly we don't get like 100 points per level. That'd be nice, but
yeah, it's really almost nothing that we get per level. Yeah,
it slowly goes up, but it slows down so much, so it doesn't really feel like it. But yeah, it's nice at a really high level to be able to slam something to 15, and then like you'll do EXP at 15, and then you can put critical damage and regular damage and damage to normal monsters all at like 10 or 11, and it's like, then you know that you can really, you can get a good EXP and still kill the monster, so that's good stuff.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't that worth it to like go past 10 on inner ability, so I was just trying to spread out the...
Yeah. For sure. Well, once you get to 250, you'll have enough points to start going past 10, and that it's worth it, yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Yeah, well, good luck on everything. I think we got through everything fine, right?
Yeah, I think I completely cleared my doubt, so...
Okay.
I really appreciate your time and your help, man. Yeah,
you're very welcome. And yeah, best of luck, and I'll see you around.
Yeah, early grats on Liberation also. So.
Oh yes, thank you. 2 long weeks, and then it's such a long process. And then when you're almost done, it feels like, oh, it didn't even take that long, but it actually did take really long. It's so mentally, it's really weird.
It's longer than you thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but then when you're almost done, it's like, oh, it's not as long as I thought. It's like it's really
Great,
contradictory,
great.
but yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Then we can start on the next character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start the Demon Avenger.
Here that. Yeah. Here it comes.
All right.
Well, man, thank you so much for your time, and
Yep.
hope you have a good stream too.
Thank you so much. I'll see you around.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, so we're able to help him out here on this beautiful day. So Herman actually, from the session here, our Windarcher won the giveaway because the other person who won the giveaway so generously offered to pay it forward, and when they actually won on YouTube to donate for a session anyway, and then let me give it to the next person in line who was going to win the giveaway. And so that's really cool. If you want to be possibly the next person who wins the giveaway, then make sure to leave a comment on the YouTube video that you would like to win, including your Discord name so I can reach out to you. Because in the past, I've reached out to people or sent them a reply to their YouTube comment that they won, but then I never got a notice back, and then I had to like chase and find the next person, and there was a little bit extra work. So I found that if I put the Discord name, then we can get into contact a little bit faster, so that's good. And yeah, if you have any other questions, if you want to use any of the commands, you can always use them on my Twitch channel. They're available all the time, even when I'm offline, but I'm online quite a lot. So there's a good chance that when you check the channel that I'll be right there and I'll be streaming, so you can ask it in real time. But definitely use the commands to already get 90% of the questions out of the way. And then for that last 10%, I'll be right there to help you out. All of that is available in the chat. If you want a coaching session like this one, so one way is by, leaving the comments. And the other way is by checking the description of the video. There's a link there to the prices and the amount of time that everything takes. And I can plan these sessions pretty quickly. I do quite a lot of them, and I don't have like months of waiting lists or something. It's pretty much always within a week that you'll get your session. And if you want an express super fast session, you can do that as well. And the third way is by being subscribed on my Twitch channel, and then just using the points that you get for free by watching to request a session in the store. That's another way to do it. So that's the budget way, the in-between budget way, other than just waiting for a month and hoping that I draw your name out of the hat. Yeah, other than that, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you either on the next video, or I'll see you live on stream on Twitch someday. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye.